Once upon a time in 2019, there was a land called Chaska. Within it lived a homosexual by the name of House. He moved into a big white castle made of glass and pearls on Pine Street. All he wanted was to start his adventure of self-prosperity away from the toxic environments of a land called Carver. At first, all seemed fine as he laid in bed awaiting the kiss of a well-endowed man. He watched his magic box and ate honey mustard potato discs, doing his best to be his best self despite the circumstance. As time went on, he found himself in a state of disarray, sitting by his lonesome with no one to talk about his day. His mind fled as if running away, ruminating on words his mind has never said. He felt uncomfortable, as if eyes watched him sleep and kept tabs on him as he felt pleasure that soon became bleak, non-existent it seems. He tried his hand at keeping his mind at bay, but he couldn't help but hear words he himself did not say. The words no one could hear but him. His fear became severe, to say the very least. As time went on, he would listen to words so heinous and evil that he became simply irate, terrified and paranoid, like fate he could not escape. Not knowing where the voices were placed or what they could even be, he cried and tried to tell everybody what he was hearing and what they would say, but everyone's love and compassion was then misplaced. As days turned into weeks and weeks turned into months, he found himself scared, confused, and fixated on words with no mouth. He then sent himself away to a safe place, after seeing a monster that replaced his mind, soul, body, and face in the reflection of tainted waters. Soon the voices dissipated and he felt okay again, ready to venture off to the place neighboring his homeland. He went back to his castle made of pearls and glass, only to face the same evil voices with nobody to show, as if hiding themselves so they could have more control. As if the walls were speaking to him when he was all alone. Near his bed, under a rickety staircase, and behind a wooden door of magic and oak, the screams of those he could not pinpoint, the sounds of chaos and hate echoed through a frozen box, leaving him cold. The whispers of the power-hungry through the glass, the culprit supposedly unknown. He could feel the shedding of his soul, his mind starting to turn on him again. Every decision he made felt unworthy of the life he wished to sow. One day, while living yet another day, in lonesome fear, there was a knock on the door. Two angry little piggies with something to say. A lie meant to make his actions go affray. They said he was too loud. They could feel his music rumble. They said another called with a complaint. But he stayed humble. He told them he was within his rights and reason. Then he simply smiled. That moment was the moment their ego crumbled. His name they wished to defile. From that point on, the voices got worse, calling him things of the perverse, angry and bitter, oinks and chitter-chatter, lies and falsehoods with no truth to mend. Still, he had no idea where those sounds were sent. Those words made him lose his head. More and more his ears bled, now telling him he is better off dead. They said he would be taken away from all that he is, for things he didn't do and lies he never said. Worse and worse every day the words started to make way, paving a path in his already traumatized brain. He would scream and cry, begging for mercy every single night. He was losing his will to fight, but still those evil voices kept going. A single shadow covered in blue snuck past his window, but he was too afraid to check who. Everything this poor homosexual did was turned into something nasty and foul, sick and twisted, like that little piggy's scowl. Every action said evil, good deed turned bad. It was almost like something was after him, but no one believed that. He was alone, to fight a battle with those that were never shown. Then finally the words of a fair lady indeed, then relocated him to a bigger castle on 2nd Street. He thought this might free him from the voices so mean, the oinks of the bitter, the manipulative and discreet. He got settled in and could finally breathe, no longer shackled by the programmed anxiety nor the terroristic conditioning, so he thought. Soon after, the voices were back. The oinks were truly mad. The sounds of angry piggies, even louder than the past, play a game of good and bad. Every fall, he heard them laugh. He found a poison that he hoped would make it feel all okay, expecting the little evil sounds to find their way face to face, but they never came. By this point, so much time has come to pass, and those angry little oinks would continue to attack. Day by day he lost his will to fight, until one powerful night. His godmother had something to say, encompassing all that is good. She asked him to pray. She told him to remember his worth. Love wins over hate, to stay clear-headed and focused, faithful and brave. Be honest with himself and promise things would change. He let go of the poison and did as she would say, slowly but surely finding his way. He was no longer alone in this battle so botched. One-sided still, those two wouldn't stop. Despite the sounds of two hateful piggies, he focused on himself every day. With every action, word, and leap of faith, the words of his godmother truly brought change. He was slingshotted into the direction that was his truest place. He was now once again looking at his own face, yet somehow brighter, stronger, and more confident than before. Now empowered by change, it's like he upgraded from a boy to a man with a future worth fighting for. He started to feel safe, like everything was going to be okay. To this day, he follows the words of his godmother's grace. Though the sounds of the devilish piggies still haven't changed, his ability to cope and love himself won the unlawful race of discrimination, homophobic torture, and the hate crime that brought him so much pain. House, that once frightened boy, now a prince under his godmother's wing, found his purpose again. Those two evil piggies will never win. They are of devilish kin, their very essence reeks of sin. Though he has never seen their face, but maybe once, he now knows how they will behave, and what it is they might say, and how he can overcome and find growth every day. He will continue being his best self, and with a little help from all those that care, he will live a life far more than fair. A prince with ambition and strength to persevere, those little piggies does he no longer fear. Whether they are real or not, alive or in his head, his old self he did shed, ready for the next chapter ahead.